Some movies just want to entertain you. Others sneak in a love letter to the films that inspired them. Minions and Monsters does both, blending classic monster movie vibes with plenty chaotic minion energy. So the question is, does it get the job done? I'm Steven, this is Past the Silver Screen, and let's get into it. One of my favorite things about Minions and Monsters is that it is packed with love letters to movie history. And if you're a fan of film, there's a good chance that you'll catch these when you're watching a movie. The birth of cinema. The film recreated Edward Muybridge's famous motion studies, the earliest set of images that really helped pave the way for motion pictures. It's a really cool tribute on how filmmaking all began. A trip to the moon. There's a fun homage to the 1902 film A Trip to the Moon, and it's complete with imagery of the moon face just replaced with a minion, and it's just a really cool nod to one of the most influential science fiction films ever made. The arrival of a train at La Ciotat. The film even recreates one of the most legendary audience reactions from The Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat, which is one of cinema's earliest and most iconic screamings of a movie. And yes, I say screamings because at the premiere of the movie, audience members literally ran out of the theater because they thought the train was going to come right through the screen. So that was such a cool nod. Silent comedy legends. If you love classic comedy, make sure you keep your eye out for Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, and Buster Keaton references. The physical gags and the slapstick comedy are directly inspired by the legendary work that these men have done. But that's not my favorite part of the movie or my favorite Easter egg to the movie. I would have to say that belongs to the rise of the talkies. It's the introduction to sound in motion pictures. Because we see at the beginning of the movie, the minions are doing nothing but silent motion pictures, which that's what it was at the time. And when sound was introduced, now you have microphones on minions and nobody knows what they're saying whatsoever, but they become some of the biggest movie stars in the world. And honestly, that's what makes this movie so fun. It's genuinely just a love letter to movies and motion pictures and the history of Hollywood. Rather than just throwing things in there for the sake of nostalgia, this movie does build on and respect the history before it. I don't think I could ever shut up about this movie because it references so many iconic movies before it, like Airplane, E.T., Back to the Future, Matrix, even going back to Casablanca, Citizen Kane, and the movie that this villain in Minions and Monsters is inspired by, The Blob. So it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's just a super great time, and it's also such an inspiring movie in a weird way. When it comes down to the message of the movie, it's really just about creating and not letting anybody tell you what you can or can't do. Because the minion that you meet in this movie, James, the one who is directing the movies and creating these things, he's an outcast in the beginning. He's sitting in the back of the boat where they're all, just basically going to different countries looking for their big boss. And he's drawing by himself, he's making stories, and he eventually gets two best friends, and they just make these things together. And it's so great. I thought the movie was just really special in that kind of capacity. I saw myself in James a few times when it comes down to just being an artist and just creating things and wanting to write and make movies and having that kid-like imagination when it comes down to the things you want to make. So for me, it's not going to be a surprise to anybody, especially if you listen to our podcast episode on the summer movie blockbusters. But the Minions and Monsters, it gets a 5 out of 5 for me. I love these movies. I've always loved this franchise ever since it came out when I was 10 years old. And I think they're just going to keep banking on the success of these guys because they still get funnier and funnier. And I will be one of the only adults in the theater laughing louder than the children. That's how great these movies are. It's an absolute fantastic love letter to Hollywood and the history of film. So if you're a huge movie fan, I just recommend going to watch this movie and try just jotting down the things that you can catch. But for me, that's it. I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments. But thank you so much, and you have a great day.